In 1914, a man named Fisher, who had designed the Lincoln Highway, laid out a route from north to south, creating another highway system. This is Dixie Highway, Brick Road is what we know it as now. Started in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and ended in Miami. It's called Dixie Highway, which it seems like a single road, but it was a network of roads. Coming into Florida, there was actually two routes, one on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. This is a section from St. Johns County through Flagler County into Espanola. We have 11 miles of it. 9 miles is in Flagler County of the original Dixie Highway. Most people think that when they drive it, it is drivable. Looks like a dirt road. They covered it with sand to protect the bricks. But it's 20, 25 feet wide. The original Dixie Highway was 10 to 12 feet wide. I'll show you what the road looks like now. That way, St. Johns County, well, actually, I'm standing in St. Johns County. What you saw over my shoulder was the Flagler County line. And it's a logging road. But this is pretty much, I'm standing in the middle of what was the original Dixie Highway. And this is pretty much what it looked like through here. Between Hastings and Neoga, Espanola, there really wasn't a lot for them to, like no gas stations or no conveniences. So it was a pretty lonely, tree-lined road. Espanola is that way. And I'll show you more and talk more about the bricks themselves. So with over 6,000 miles of a road laid in brick, why aren't there more brick roads? Well, there's progress. I showed you what the area looked like where our Dixie Highway brick road is. This is what it was made out of, red clay. This one is a Southern clay manufacturing company. Graves was another big one that we see a lot. Reynolds is another, it was a smaller company that produced these bricks. This clay came from northern Alabama and southern Tennessee. And they made enough bricks to cover almost 6,000 miles. Another part of it was this curbing. It's made from early concretes impregnated with rocks. And basically, the bricks locked into place on it. We still see some of the remnants of this here in Flagler County, along Dixie Highway. But back to the question of what happened. Technology, progress created asphalt. Some concrete roads were made. The bricks would pop up in places. They'd have to be worked on. The road would have to be resurfaced. It's kind of the same problem that they had with Kings Road. Kings Road was a whole lot worse. It had to be constantly maintained. So when Brick Road came through, it took the place of Kings Road. much better road. Still could be bumpy, nothing like a dirt road was. And then 1926, US 1 came along and phased out Dixie Highway Brick Road as the main roadway. And then that became a US 1 became a secondary roadway when I-95 came through. But when they were starting to pave roads, asphalt them, they sent out a notice to anybody that needs bricks for a project, come get them. We've seen chimneys, flower beds, walkways, possibly pieces of houses that were built out of these bricks. I'm sitting on about 8 foot of brick road. It's illegal to take them off the road. These came from Craig Flagler Palm's funeral home. They tore up a section that ran through there, and we went and recovered a bunch of bricks to be used at a project with the Flagler County Historic Society. But by the 1940s, brick road was phased out. The roadways still remain. If you go into Bunnell, Moody Boulevard, Road 100, John Anderson comes off of that and goes down to Volusia County, Ormond. There's still some brick roads out in Hastings. I've seen some in Palatka, but I don't know if they were recovered bricks and relaid to make a pretty pathway or if it's part of the original brick road. But this is what brick road was made out of. Dixie Highway was the beginning of our tourism, especially after World War I was over. People had more leisure time. They would go down to places called tin can tourist camps. As far as the tourist camps, the tin can name, it's possible it was because of the vehicles they had, Model Ts, Model As, could be from the travel trailers that they used, made out of tin, or it could have been the gas tanks that they had to carry with them because there was long stretches of nothing. When we got into Espanola, there was a gas station, there was a tin can tourist camp. It was called Live and Let Live. There was a hotel, some stores, and then you got into Bunnell, and it was starting to grow. But what I'm sitting on is the beginning of Florida tourism, and the area that we were out in the woods in, just like everything else, they're looking at developing around it. Brick Road was put on the National Register Historic Places in 2005, at least our section was. It's a historically significant roadway, and we're working to help protect it. A lot of history went down that road. We've got reports of moonshine being run up it. Just little piece of history from that 1914 to 1926. It was used after that, don't get me wrong. But it was a back road. Very pretty back road, but it was a back road. But just like with everything else, we're working to protect this piece of Flagler County heritage, history for future generations. This is PZ, Kings Road Historic District, Flagler County Historic Society, sitting on a historic roadway in my backyard.